Hey there, it's Mimi and Lump Lump.
The show is back. Today is June 13th, 2021. I hope everybody is still staying safe, staying away from that COVID, and staying caring for one another, as I said before.
Absolutely.
Welcome back, baby.
I hope you guys had a good week. We had a good week. I went back to working out, and my brother and I, we've been kind of working out. He's been working out, getting ready for battle, and I just kind of got back. But it felt good. I feel good, and I think we're going to have a good show today, brother. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I had a good week, sis. Like she say, she's been back on the mat. It's been good to see her back out there. Also had my coach and training partner back out there. She's been working out good this week consistently. Look forward to the next weeks coming aboard. But, yeah, we've been on that mat, getting ready for battle and other tournaments. So you guys don't think we out here just bullshitting with you.
I had school, but I'm on break. I have time.
On break, a couple more weeks, huh?
Couple more weeks. I'm enjoying it, getting back on the mat, so I am enjoying it. But I think we're going to have a good show. I got a few things planned. I want to start with, I saw a video this week, and it really touched me as far as the level of competition. It's in track and field. For any of you that run track, you probably have already seen this, and I think the video said it was back in 17 or 18. But it's a video of junior high school girls, Black Girl Magic, and they are doing the 4x4 and in Motor City, Detroit, the AAU finals.
Baby, the city, baby.
So she's running the anchor. And as she receives the baton to take off for her final leg, her shoe literally comes off her foot. You see it fly up in the air. And this girl, and I don't know her name, I don't know her age, but the level of focusedness, maturity, strength, because I'm sure that track is hot. The level that she had and the concentration, not only to finish it, but I see her at one point widening the gap, which means she just put on a burst of speed like no other. And they came out as the junior AAU national champions. And I think anybody that has doubt, that's just trying to overcome anything, no matter what level it is, I think you need to watch this video. It's very inspirational, especially to see a young lady of whatever race, that young, to be able to focus and pull this race out. We're actually watching a little bit of the clip now, and she's crossing the race. And at the end of the race, she actually has the one shoe. They show a picture of her having one shoe, a Nike shoe, and then she's holding it up, smiling, which is another example of her fighting through anything, fighting through any type of turmoil or anything when she could have doubted herself or fell back. She didn't. So I think everybody, if you haven't seen it, go out and see it. Did you check out that video, Lo?
I saw it for the first time today. It was pretty emotional to see that young lady really not just quit. Thank you for the judges not disqualifying her because her shoe came off. Exactly. To see her really push through it, that shows a lot of power, willpower, strong-minded.
Absolutely.
0% of quitting in there, dedication, and she lost her shoe and then lost her sock also.
Yes, everything.
Lost her sock also. That thing probably burnt up on that ground. But I tell you what, that young lady pushed it. You could tell she was really a team player. That's
Absolutely.
A team player, really.
Absolutely.
That is, because she could have just, like I said, just should have stopped, let it go. But she didn't. She strived through to get them that medal that they deserve to have, that she deserved to have. Congratulations to her. Although it was probably a few years ago, it's all right. If you didn't see it, show it to your children. Let them see it.
You watch it yourself.
It's dedication.
That's it.
It's dedicating to want to win. It's dedicating to not let your team down when you're the last leg on that team. It's going to team fighting and stuff. You were the last leg. You can't let your team down. That right there showed that she wasn't willing to let her team down. And
Absolutely.
congratulations to them. Congratulations to the coach. Congratulations to the parents.
To the Motor City.
To the Motor City for having that. Right there. What else you got in store for us, sis? I know you got some more in store for us.
I do. Sticking with females. I love, if anybody knows me, I love all sports. I watch basketball, football. The Olympics are coming up, which I'm so excited about. That's one of the great memories that I have with my daddy growing up, was that we watched all of the Olympics, no matter what it was. So I can't wait. It starts, I believe, next month or at the end of the month towards the beginning of July. But I can't wait. I'm ready for it. I'm looking for my hometown girl. Well, I'm from Galveston. She's from Spring, but Simone Biles, who is breaking records and creating moves that nobody has ever seen. Our walking legend and best gymnast ever. You know, I can't remember this routine she did. I saw it on Facebook not too long ago, but it was some routine, and they said this solidifies her being the best gymnast ever. And my thought and my point of view was she was the best gymnast last Olympics after sweeping the floor and doing all of that. It was just great to see.
Welcome back.
Yes. Welcome. I'm
sure she got some things in store for us on this go round.
Absolutely. She had on a really nice leotard on the back. It had a goat.
Leotard.
It had a goat in diamonds. In sparkly, let's say bedazzled. I don't know what it was made out of. It was very, 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 very nice. I liked it.
What is goat? Isn't that the bad? What is
yes,
that?
sir. It's some type of animal is what I was taught and learned. I don't know. What you think it is? What do you think it means?
I heard that it means that they are the greatest of all time.
Absolutely. I think I've heard that acronym before.
Yes.
I think I have.
So everybody should feel like a goat in whatever they do. You should feel like a goat.
That's it.
Or be the goat.
That's it.
Or be the goat. I'm the lion looking for the goat.
That's it. You actually told me you saw, or that another, staying on that female power, we rule the world. You told me that Claressa Shields made a debut yesterday.
Well, not yesterday. I think hers was Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
But T-Rex, Claressa Shields.
That's it. The boxer. She's a boxer.
The boxer from Flint, Michigan.
Oh.
Claressa Shields, the boxer from Flint, Michigan.
Another Meyer.
Yes.
You
she debuted.
Michigan doing something,
she debuted into that MMA, and she did a phenomenal job. She pulled out that win. They did go all the rounds.
Was it 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They bucked. The young lady definitely gave Claressa a good fight.
Who did she fight? Do you know who she fought?
No, ma'am. I didn't know who she was.
Okay. All right.
But I tell you, she was tough. She fought Claressa very well. First 2 rounds, Claressa started to understand a little bit and, adjust it.
Well, what type of fighter? I know Claressa is a boxer. What type of fighter did she fight?
She fought a grappler. She had a grappler in front of her. It definitely took her down a few times.
She did.
Yes.
Did she have ground game, Claressa herself?
That last round, she definitely had some ground game. She stood her ground on a few tries of the young lady trying to take her down. Claressa fell over on top of her a few times, and when Claressa got down, she was down there pounding her. Pound. Absolutely. Letting them hands go.
Absolutely.
Like with nothing left, and she's fighting for America right there. I'm telling you, she put them hands down. Big shout out to her. She representing that Michigan, like I said.
That's it. You see her going far in UFC?
I definitely see her going far, but this league was the PFL, if I'm not mistaken. I think this was Professional Fight League. This was a different, something different. I'm sure they up under UFC somewhere, but definitely a good start off for them. Big shout out to her.
Watching that. I watch women's UFC.
I see she made that transition. She made it good. She made it well. And she also was training with John Jones for this fight.
Okay.
And I definitely think John Jones is one of the bad goats.
Right. Exactly.
Bad goats. So, yeah. Big shout out to Claressa and her training camp. Big shout out to her also changing and making transitions to something different than what she's used to doing.
That's it.
Taking what she learned and putting it into a whole nother sport.
Absolutely.
Is pretty awesome. You're definitely a GOAT.
Absolutely.
Big ups.
Anything worth having is worth working for.
Yes, baby.
So if you want it, you can go out there and get it. Just put your mind to it.
Speaking of UFC did have a card last night.
Did they?
Yeah, it's fight number card 263. They did have.
Oh, that's the
Errol Sano and
Israel.
Mr. Marvin Israel. Yes, Mr. Israel.
I like him.
Mr. Israel talking big shit. I think he really wanted to throw down. He supposed to have knocked my man out. I was looking forward to seeing that, but he did beat my man up pretty bad. But
how many rounds did they go?
They went all 5.
All 5.
They went all 5 rounds. Unanimous decision.
Surprising.
Unanimous decision. Big ups to him. Another win up under his belt, and that's 2 against this guy right here. So this guy really can't even go back to the room, microphone, talking no mess.
None.
You didn't do nothing. You did nothing.
Was this fight better than the first fight?
It was more exciting. Definitely.
Okay. He tried harder.
Yes, he definitely slammed Israel a few times, but it wasn't nothing. You know, Israel was compared to Muhammad Ali this morning on my YouTube feed. On my YouTube feed that I turned on this morning to find out something good going on. The first thing popped up was Israel compared to Muhammad Ali because he roped and doped this boy. Roped and doped this boy. I mean, he went left, went right, left and right, and then that boy didn't know what to do.
He was left confused.
Confused and was thinking about tying his shoe that he didn't even have on his foot. That's how he roped and doped him bad. It was good. He definitely got a few shots in. But Mr. Nate had made his way back into Nate Diaz had made his way back into the octagon yesterday against Mr. Leon Edwards. And I tell you what, that was one hell of a fight.
I don't think I know Leon.
I know they deserve to have fight of the night.
Okay. Nate normally gets.
I know they deserve to have fight of the night. Them boys beat each other ass bad.
Nate like to get hit.
When I tell you, Nate landed one on him, and Leon had the woo and the woo wiggle and the woo wiggle, and Nate said, "Come here, I'm giving you more. Come here." And Leon was like, "No," and he wiggle, and he hit him again, and he wiggle, and then Leon landed one on Nate, and Nate was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, I'm going to tell my brother on you." You know, but it was a good fight. It was a good ass fight, y'all. For real. If y'all
gotta go back.
If y'all definitely didn't see that card, that was a one good fight card right there. With some other guys on there I really don't care to talk about because I don't know them. And
was this the first fight between Nate and the other guy?
Yes, first fight between them two. Nate Diaz said at the end of it, he feel like they deserve to have 6 rounds. That's how exciting that fight was. Nate Diaz wanted to do 6 rounds. I'm sure Mr. Edwards would have did 6 rounds. Their fight was on point.
And it wasn't for a title or anything like that.
No, man. They just welcome back for Nate. You know, big welcome back. He definitely got a welcome back.
Right.
He fought a hell of a fighter who's coming up. Who definitely deserve to have him a title shot, whoever division he's in. I don't know.
Okay.
But I tell you, them two put a show on last night for us, the crowd, the fans, the UFC promoters. I know y'all got paid good money yesterday. Mm-hmm. I know it. Yeah.
I bet. Dana White made that money.
It definitely did. And not only him, Floyd did too. Because I'm sure he had some bets out there on somebody.
As long as he's not out there.
Maybe even on Mr. Edwards, though. He might have had his bets on Mr. Edwards. But speaking of, some karate things, we had a few tournaments that broke off this weekend. Few places in the United States of America. We had one that was down there in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Larry Wells
Senior and Junior. Big ups to you guys for y'all tournament. We heard
Big Larry and Little Larry.
Yeah, Big Larry and Little Larry. Nah, Little Larry is Big Larry, but you know how it is.
Guys, it's opposite. So
daddy's son, yeah, I know. Because I'm like Big Willie and my daddy Little Willie, but it's all right. It's just a little different here. You silly girl.
That's how it works. That's how you got. That in the Clyde family, you got Big Richard, Little Richard. So it's all good.
Is Avery taller?
I would think he is. Let's just give it to him.
That's scary. I don't want to.
Because they all giants over there. They all tall. Miss Plowden, I think it's the short one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess not. Somebody told me.
That's still Little Richard. That's all. Don't worry, Avery. I got your back. I know.
Don't worry, Avery. We're gonna keep open eyes for the young.
She tried to get you in trouble. I know. See, that's what Miss Regina do to the little brothers. I'm telling you.
I do that. I pick on my little brothers. I do that. Stink boy.
Yes, but big shout out to them. We saw that K Swift made his way from the ATL out there.
That's it. He represented
out there. All Stars. He took the overall grand.
That's it. K Swift always gonna put it down where he goes. Whether he wins, loses, or draws, he's always making a statement, and he's always in the last or the semi-last fight. So without a doubt, you know he's going to show up and perform.
Yeah,
it's always good to see him.
Excited to see what they got in store this week. And I'm telling you, I'm excited. Miss Regina.
Yes, sir.
Now, speaking of you training and shit.
Yes, sir.
I thought I saw you in a uniform yesterday competing
I think
at
you were
the tournament.
Walking, sir. No, I did. Yes, sir. I take that back. I was joking with you.
Well, how did it feel to be out there? Let me ask you that much.
It actually felt good. One, because I have missed not only the competition as far as tournament, but just getting out on the mat, working out, and teaching does something for me, of course, and being at tournaments, but to actually physically do it, that's a rush that nothing else can, compare to, because of course my passion for karate. But it was actually good to be out there. And thank you, one, for making me get back out there and work out, because I kept saying, no, leave me alone. I don't want to. I was enjoying my pandemic time off. But being that I have a break from school, and my girls were gone for the week and things like that, on vacation a little bit here and there, but I just really wasn't doing had anything to do. And being that we have battle coming, trying to help you get ready. And then we do have some kids and some students that we have been giving privates with. It was only natural for me to kind of get out there and want to start doing it again, because, I actually get out there and I somewhat work out with them as far as doing the drills, maybe doing a few rounds. So it felt good. And it always feels good when you and I fight together,
yes.
Not just sitting back laughing at you and making fun of you and things like that. It's always good for us to get up there and fight together. So it was good to be back. I don't know how many more tournaments I'm going to do.
I'm not going to try to pull it on too many, but I tell you, it was just really just to see her out there. Like she said, she's trained this week, and I was looking at her timing and things and the way she were still fighting. It's like she didn't lose it. It didn't go anywhere. It's just her just
I just added to the leg weight that I have in my lower body.
So that means she just can't be doing all that crossing over now. She just got to
stand there. That's it. I fight like BP.
But she definitely looked good. Big shout out to Raynisha Williams, young lady that she fought.
Yes. That was my first time ever seeing her and meeting her, but she was another young lady. And it was her first adult tournament. I believe I was told she had just turned 18. And I remember my first tournament and fighting in adults. And you have a sense of confidence, but you also have a sense of nervousness and maybe even being a little scared, because you're moving from children, juniors, to women, adults. That's a big difference. And that, to me, it doesn't matter what your natural ability is. You still step up to a different level when you move from juniors to adults. I did plan on fighting, but again, when I was there, it was unexpected by a lot of people because I hadn't fought in any tournaments since last year. So when I fought her, I was very excited that she tried. With the fear that you could see, that didn't stop her from actually giving effort to actually fight. If she's out there, she hears this, if anybody knows her, please have her send me a friend request or a message on Facebook. I would like to talk to her and just help motivate her and give her some pointers to help her get a little bit better. But I want her to continue to fight, compete, and do anything she wants and needs to get better. And I'll be there to help her if she needs that. But I really enjoyed sparring with her. She was a good person. I enjoyed it.
Let's stay giving back. Let's stay giving back, y'all. Let's stay giving back. I wonder what kind of blessing God's going to give into Regina's hands.
I don't know. I've been blessed a long ways throughout my life.
Talk,
so.
It was so funny. And, I don't knock nobody at all. I got a glass house. Some other people got some glass houses, so I don't need to throw bricks at yours. You don't need to throw bricks at mine. But I tell you, to hear certain legends from Texas speak of Miss Regina yesterday, who I'm not from Texas, but to just hear these older men just speak highly of her and the way she fought this young lady yesterday, that didn't remind them of the old school way. Miss Linda Denley used to just drop your ass anyway. You couldn't score a point on her. That's what they told me. I asked. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. I asked. I said, well, what makes a difference? Oh, well, Linda Denley? Oh, yeah. She wouldn't let you score no point on her. You hit her, you was going to feel it. You know, she showed up and somebody turned and broke this girl's jaw. Damn, really? Because she scored a point? That's very, very good ethics that you want to win. But if you want somebody to keep the sport alive, if you want somebody to hand the torch down to, anything like that, you can't be like that. And that's one thing that I love the fact of that I've learned to not be like, and also watching her not be like that, you know, and really work with her and let the girl try. And I hear Mimi talking to the girl during the fight. I fucking hear her talking to, what are you doing? I'm telling her to do something. She talking to the girl. But it really just to see her just willing to give that. And it wasn't even about the point. It wasn't about, it was just her building confidence. If I can score on this world champion that I'm fighting, because I tell you what, we went to Beaumont yesterday and they just raised the roof for us. I mean, we were like king queens walking in for America yesterday when we went to Beaumont. Just the world championship, oh my God, they're amazing fighters. And this young lady hearing this about her, at the same time, she don't know who she is. This girl's freaking out. She's freaking out. I'm watching this young lady freak out. At one point when she went to grab her bag, I thought she was leaving, but she was bringing her bag down. But it was just the fact that that's how much nervousness and frightness that came across her that it was like, I don't want to do this. Yeah, no, she's going to kill me. And it really, she didn't. She didn't even kill her. She didn't. I tell you what, she hit me harder than she hit you, Rainisha. I tell you that much. That fucking hit me harder.
You ugly. She was nice.
But
a little lady.
Yeah, big shout out to Mr. What's his name? Mike Berryhill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Out of Beaumont.
Second time going to his
That was my first one. I enjoyed it. It ran
very
smooth
organized.
and it was organized, and he got us up out of there.
That's it.
And definitely enjoyed fighting a few of the gentlemen out there.
One of the things you mentioned, brother, was us yesterday. We had a chance to sit and talk to some of the legends that I grew up with in AOK and in the state of Texas, and brought up some great memories, and told me some stories of people that I've known, Ray McCullum, and some of the old schools, of course, Linda, and we saw Mike Maxwell, and some of those old legends.
Killer Mike.
To sit around and listen to this history, and it's karate history, it's Texas history, it's whatever martial arts history, however you want to look at it, but to sit around and listen to it, and some of that history, as old as I am, I was a part of, but didn't realize what I was watching or how I was involved. Greg Dorsey told us about Pete Ramirez, which is Eva Ramirez's brother, Alex
Ramirez,
his uncle, and how great he was. And when Greg told Lump about Pete, I was like, oh yes, that was one of the main forerunners as far as with their school, with their family. And again, just to sit around and listen to that history. If you guys ever have the chance to sit around and listen to old school legends, living legends, let's call them living legends, please sit down and listen. It is a feeling of just learning more about a passion that you have, and learning more and making you understand that before you got to where you were, there was a whole bunch of other history and things going on that opened the door for you, that gave you the opportunity to do and be who you wanted to be. And it was just great, like you said, being local at home, and then seeing a lot of the legends that I hadn't seen since I was a kid. Fred Simon was there.
Woo! I got to fight in front of Fred Simon yesterday.
I mean,
I got to fight in front of Fred Simon.
If anybody knows anything about, again, Texas history or Houston or anywhere in the surrounding area, Fred Simon is a living legend. And I've known him since my first tournament back when I was 8 or 9 years old. I fought Eva Ramirez in my first tournament. She won. I got second. She got first. No one knows that, but that happened. Just to sit around and listen to him talk about us, Eva and myself, Danielle Dixon, just to hear talking about how he remembered watching Tiara and Ebony Adams fight, and that kind of history. It's like, wow. And when we watched it, we just wanted to compete. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to represent our state. We just wanted to have that opportunity to go out there and be on top and be remembered. We did not know that, or I did not know that I was a part of making somewhat of history. That's the part that is more amazing now because one, I've been in karate so long, and then two, to actually have like a Renisha Williams that comes and shows up, and who knows whether she sticks with karate, whether she doesn't, whether she's going to be a GOAT or whether she doesn't. She actually was at a tournament with certain people, Fred Simon, with Mike Maxwell, with myself, with Willie, to where she's building and making her own memories and her own history. So my job to give to her is to also help her, guide her in making her history, which means helping her with the tools she needs, giving her advice, giving her a helping hand in any way I can. And that's just because we both are in love with the same sport. We're both in love and have that common ground. So any way I can give back, I want to. I try to. If I don't, I need to do better, and I will do better.
I gave back a little bit yesterday.
You did.
I did.
You gave back yesterday. You gave back in different ways.
Definite.
Your first fight was a local guy, and
Devin Banks.
Devin Banks.
I remember his name because you had to wait for him to finish judging.
Oh, I thought he was doing form.
No, he was judging.
Okay, he was judging. We had to wait, and he was actually good. He was fast.
Yes.
I think that just the level of experience.
And like I told him, if you hung longer than a minute with me, and as fast as I felt yesterday, and do know y'all, I felt fast. I felt good. I felt like the lump was getting ready for battle again. He hung. He just threw some silly things at certain times of me just being who I am and experienced as I am. I just capitalized off of it. But like I told him,
it didn't change his aggression.
It didn't.
It didn't change his attitude.
At the end, it kind of, he was just like, oh man, I just fought a world champion. It's just like, oh, trust me, you hung longer than a minute. You done all right with me. Like really at that moment, because I was so focused. Yesterday, when we walked in the building, I was focused. We watched a few fights. I watched a little junior division that kind of got me a little pumped up for the tournament.
Great. Yes. Yesterday.
And so I was on zone. The second fight, I fought one of Mike Maxwell black belts. 66-year-old man,
and
I tell
after you.
I
punched you.
He did. I enjoyed fighting him. I enjoyed that 2 minutes in the ring with him. I really enjoyed. I didn't try to kill him. No. It was just fun. Yeah, it was so fun. He ended up hitting me with a good lead hand to the body because I thought he was going to throw the back fist, and I lifted my hand up, and he went right underneath, and I was like, oh. But I did get him back, but they didn't call it. But
that's right. Yours wasn't as clean.
No, it definitely wasn't. I'm going to be honest. I just called him off the line just to speed. Like, I got you back. But I tell you, Mr. Durham, it was really enjoyable fighting you yesterday. The last guy I fought, Mr. Nathan, well, I tell you, Mr. Nathan was an enjoyable fight.
Yes,
he was enjoyable. I love the aggression he had. I haven't had that in a while. Like really, just every time go.
He better have aggression. His wife was gonna beat him up.
He came every time they said go. He came. He came. He might not have thrown nothing, but he threw something after it for sure. And
definitely took you down to the ground and punched you.
Definitely gave me a good headshot down there on the ground. Boom, boom. And it woke me up. Like he really woke up that lumpster in me, and I had to get on the line. Like, hey. You must don't know who I am yet. Well, let me show you. And I gave him that right hand like, Duka! And he was just like, okay.
Gotcha.
That way him feel good. He threw that little hard. Yeah, I had to. And then he got to talking to the judges. That's one thing I don't like. Don't point to the judges and be talking about I kicked you on your shoulder or I kicked you in your arm. Don't do me like that.
You can't do that if
you turn me up.
4 out of 5 judges call it. I can understand if you felt it didn't score, if you
you're the local favor,
you missed it. But when you have your opinion versus 5 other judges that all called the same thing, I don't think you have much of an argument and should not be arguing. That's just me and my point of view. And that goes for me too. There's been times I'm like, I blocked that kick.
Me too.
And it's like, okay, well, 3 out of 5 called it, or 2 out of 3 called it, so obviously it hit me.
You guys have to remember, I became smart at the game of point fighting. This is a game of point fighting. Whoever scores first, get the point first. I make sure that I caught the knowledge of knowing how to be able to play that game. Get the point first, score first. So if I score you first, no matter how hard you try to hit me, I get the point first.
Correct.
You can't get mad.
It's a game of tag.
Because then I just like you talking to the judges, I'm about to talk to you. And now you are not going to really like it. and I'm gonna make you do some crazy things in the ring that I probably would have done if somebody talked to me. You know what? One thing, Miss Regina, we had a talk with Mr. Dorsey. Yes, I tell you, I love the fact I got to learn things and hear about some old school ways and some exciting things. And one of the things Mr. Dorsey said was that his fights, he took a kiss. Correctly? A kiss. A competitor kissed him.
On the lips.
On the lips. During the fight.
Yep. I remember sitting at the table listening to it.
And
took him out his game.
Took him out his game. And he asked, I said, you know what? I've been done like that, but not on the lips. And no man better not try to kiss me on the lips. No. We not fighting. We're going to be doing something else.
Right.
All right. Don't you try it. Don't try it. But 2015 WKC's Ian Hawlett, me and him had a good battle for that gold medal. And I tell you what, he kissed me on the forehead. He definitely grabbed me by the head and kissed me on the forehead. And he done it, as I sit back and think about it, he done it as into don't complain, fight. Stop talking, fight. I scored, fight. Don't get mad, fight. And I got upset. I had Robbie and Coach in the box. And I look back at them like, Robbie just kissed me. Like, really? And the next time I went out there, I tried to swing on him, and that boy kicked me dead in the face and sent my mouthpiece fly sky. And then it was like, all right, now what?
He got you out your mind game.
Took me dead out of it. I didn't know what to do.
So kissing someone can break their focus.
Yeah, I think so. Especially in the middle of a karate fight. Especially in the middle of a karate fight.
Nobody kiss me, please. Don't do it, because that's not that type of thing. I have a different.
Next thing you know, they're gonna be sitting here and gonna be pulling out engagement rings in the middle of the fight, talking about will you marry me?
No,
you know,
it's we didn't marry
you can't do that in the middle of the fight. But hey, whatever makes you win, you pull it.
That's it. You want to be able to dictate the fight by any means necessary.
Mike Conroy showed me back in the day when he was coaching against Don Rodriguez and Raymond Daniels was fighting Jason Borelli, and Don Rodriguez touched Raymond Daniels on the shoulders. This is when coaches couldn't touch the fighter. This when coaches could not touch the fighters.
That was at Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
I remember.
We picked up Ryan Huntley then. Rhode Island. SCS, baby. Who the best? Woo-hoo.
SCS.
Yeah. I saw it. By any means necessary, we finna get this W.
I remember that. I think I fought Dottie White.
Yes, ma'am. You did.
I did.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. You got to fight some old school legends too, huh?
Yes, sir.
You got to pull some good ones.
I fought a lot of old school legends as far as women. There's a few that I've only beaten once that beat me multiple times. There's some, one or two that I have never beaten me. But there's only one.
There's one
legend, and that there's more than one woman out there that I've never beaten. I don't want to say it like I haven't. I've beaten everyone, but one that has beaten me every single time, and I haven't beaten her.
That's all right. I used to kick her student ass a couple times. He used to kick mine too, but it's all right. I know who you're talking about. She is
definitely on, I believe, everyone's GOAT list for female fighters, and that's Nikki Carlson Lee. Nikki Carlson Lee. She, her and I believe we fought 3 times, and the closest that I had ever gotten to beat her or ever got to beat her would have been WKA in Kentucky.
Okay. I didn't get there. They already had somebody in my division for that year, so I didn't get to go. But it's all right. I heard.
We fought twice on stage, and I think at the end of the first round, I think it was 9-8. She was winning.
Of course.
That was the closest. And then after that, I think I lost by like maybe 5 or 6 at the end.
Nasty leg. Nasty leg.
Not only is it nasty,
but she knew how to punch too.
It hurts.
They say she kicked like a mule.
I had never, that was then, as young as I was, being a college student, being somewhat at the prime of my life, I had never been kicked by a woman that hard to where I thought my arm was broken, like fractured, broken. I could barely lift it because everybody that knows me knows that I like to take a side kick in my arm, my elbow, and I will try to move forward with that. And when she did it, it was, I'm going to cry out with my mommy because it actually hurt. And she did it more than one time. She is one that I went from taking the kick. I ultimately changed my fighting habit as far as sidekicks is drop my elbow on the foot. So
oh yeah, she drops that shit.
It will hurt you if I catch it and time it correctly more than it will hurt me. So that was one of the ladies that, I mean, out of all the women in the whole wide world, if I could have just one of those fights back, just one. Dottie White and I had some great fights.
Yeah.
And I mean, not just point fights. We had great real fights.
But that also turns you into who you are, Miss Virginia.
Absolutely.
You know, Dottie White's from one of the old schools from back when our instructors were competing.
Absolutely. Her and Linda had
yeah, definite. Like, and she wasn't a pushover. She wasn't a slouch, but she also let it be known that she was there, whether she won or lost. You knew you fought Dottie that weekend. And I tell you, Mr. Jenna, I remember you and Dottie having a hell of a fight. But nothing more exciting, and also to watch you grow to who you are. You know, to know that, hey, I've been hit by the toughest that's around.
Absolutely.
You know.
I've always thought if I could take one of Ishmael punches, I could take almost anyone's punch.
Tell you what, if I thought I could take Mr. Richard Plowden's spin kick, I could take anybody else.
I don't want
to.
But
you know what? I think he really like the only one that really didn't spin and hook kick me.
He round kicked me in my face one time and I cried. I don't want it no more. Because his legs are so long, like his children's.
And my mama sat outside in the car. Talking about, boy, get up off that ground, come on,
let's go home.
Yeah, I felt like I was red on Friday right there, laid out. I was just a kid, like, damn, mama, he kicked me.
I got it.
But I tell you, it made me into who I am.
Yes,
and I also
discipline.
It was so funny because he kept saying, "Keep your hands up. You're not fighting them kids.
Discipline.
Keep them hands up." And you know, I was a ruffler or something back in the junior division. I tell you, I might have been Crybaby Willie, but I tell you what, I was a scrapper too.
That's it.
And
I'd rather get knocked out or hurt at home than have it at the school. Well, I mean, at the tournament.
Yeah, I didn't want to get knocked out at all. But he spin and hook kicked me, and it caught me here, and I thought my neck was broke.
I can believe it.
I laid out on that floor, and I was very upset with him. I didn't want to talk to him for about a week. Like, don't talk to me. You kicked me like that. Like, I thought you loved me, and this how you do me.
That's why he kicked you. It's like what they say. Your parents whoop your butt and discipline you.
Tough love. I learned about tough love real early in life. I tell you. But you know, I was blessed to have him give me the game that I got, because I was probably one of them kids who was 12 fighting in the 18 plus division, 13 fighting in the 18 plus division, winning overall grands and stuff like that. That's locally, of course, because they wasn't letting me and Jay Breezy and Nathan Windsor come out the division yet. So locally, yeah, I was in there. I was always in the top of the tops. Me and Jermon for sure came in there together. But
you mentioned some names. Those names you were in those divisions with those people.
What people?
Would you Nate?
Oh,
from whose school though? Because that's another person. I was just saying.
That's Spartanburg Martial Arts right there.
That's another one of.
That's
Nikki Carson Lee,
and Ricky, Brian Pimple. Yeah.
That's a school.
Nathan and I met. Nathan and I met probably 2000. I mean, 99, 90, 2000 Savannah. Well, I knew him right before that because we fought at Tony Young always have an end of the year tournament, and we fought at his end of the year tournament that was leading us into Super Grands for Savannah 2000.
Okay.
Nathan was in the division with I and Brian Smith.
Brian Smith, that name sounds.
Brian Smith is Raymond Daniels and Ortiz Harper's.
Okay.
Little brother.
Okay. He with Mark Childress.
Yes. Yep. Okay. He used to fight. That year was him and I tell you, that's when Black and Blue was around.
Okay. I remember the video. The
Black and Blue was around. They made that 14-15 Black Belt Super Grands winner division link. And the first thing I saw was people here talking about some damn Brian Smith. And I got in there and had to say something. Coach, I'm sorry. I get you now. I'm sorry. But if you just, I know you understood where I was coming from, but it was just the fact that, like you say, let your training do the talking, let your actions do the talking. But then I just really wanted to, I felt like Floyd. I really wanted to just say it, and I'm about to do it. Like I really wanted to claim it out there loudly. That was a hot year for me. Brian was definitely from the West Coast. I was from the East, and we finally got to meet up at Super Grands that year. And it was two good fights. You know, I got him twice. I won that year with no losses. But just to go back and just get the experience of fighting those adults.
Yes.
those adults.
Your mind game is so different when you transition to adults.
It really made me. And before I transitioned, I transitioned, I was in the mindset of that I could beat this great Raymond Daniels that I watched as I grew up. I watched Raymond since 1998 Super Grands when he cut his foot and cut his eye. I've been watching Raymond Daniels ever since then. Fight anything, MMA, kickboxing, point fighting. I've watched Ray. I've studied, I've learned, I asked questions. I had him coaching me. So I took game from him, but to watch him and what he done to the league, to the sport, the things he brought to the league, to the sport, to been able to fight him, compete against him, to beat him, it's
he's taken the sport of karate, he evolved it and he made it a transition to where it wasn't only his transition. It was his transition and him showing and proving that his style of fighting was something, whether it was to be reckoned with or he felt like it was going to be something that it changed the sport of karate. I remember when he first started doing the blitzing, whether it was the front hand first or the reverse punch, you never knew that it would ultimately take things over the way it did. A blitz was a blitz, but now you have many versions of blitzing. And not one of them was called the Raymond Daniels blitz. No. You can call it that if you do the dive bomb, but traditionally, or he was the one that came up with all of this and some of the things. And now look at the sport. You got people all over the world doing dive bombs, doing certain types of blitzes that we first saw, whether it was Raymond or whether it was someone else.
Mike P, Jody,
whoever, it was something that someone brought out.
Steve Nasty Anderson,
Yeah. One of the things that Greg Dorsey talked about yesterday was that once he went to Linda Dinley's tournament, and I remember being there, that she brought down the Metro
Squad. I knew he was talking about I knew who he was talking about, Uncle AP. I knew who he was talking about.
He said that he fought a tall black guy with long legs.
Only could be.
That kicked like hell, kicked like crazy. And my first question was, did he have a axe kick? How high? He said, hell yeah, he had an axe kick. That shit went straight up and came straight down. Love and I looked at each other. We said, Anthony Price.
Uncle AP.
Been
laying that foot down.
Uncle, all of those things. We knew exactly who he was talking about.
But to hear his name spoken down here in the South.
And be remembered. Texas won't remember you if you're not worth remembering.
And being remembered let you know that he definitely made a statement when he was down here. Like Absolutely. He really, really represented when he was down here.
Absolutely. And I think he said it was a shorter person and we couldn't come up with it. It had to be what I thought was one of the Brady's.
Or T.Y.
Mm-hmm. But he wasn't for sure who it was. But just to remember, I remember seeing that, and I want to say that had to be late 80s. I started karate like in 85, 86. So I want to say that had to be Linda's tournament 89, 88, 89, or maybe even 90. But it wasn't anything past that because that's when we all ultimately started doing NBL.
I got a good question for you, Miss Regina.
Yes, sir. What's that?
All the tournaments you've been to, if it's could have been one tournament that you would have had wanted to fight in the women's division, when you wasn't a woman yet, when you wasn't a black belt yet, however, but there's one tournament, if you wish you could have fought that day, that year, in that women's division, what would it have been?
Super Grands 90, I want to say it's either 95 or 96. We were in Washington, D.C., and we were on Firefighters.
96.
And it was my first year in adults, and I had done well enough to compete all year with the Firefighters, and I had great team members, Chris Minshew, Danielle Dixon, Alinda Maxwell, LaDonna Dawson, myself. Did I say Linda already? Yes. Okay. There was a good team, but we only had one team, which was fine. At that point, I don't really think a lot of teams were putting in more than one team at that time, especially for women.
For sure.
And the women's team, no, I'm sorry. I take back that Danielle Dixon was on that team. She was not. They fought against her. The team consists of Linda from Firefighters, Chris Minshew,
George Minshew's
George
daughter?
Minshew's wife.
Wife. Oh, wife. Okay.
Wife. Sydney.
Sorry, I apologize.
Sydney is the daughter.
I know it's a C. I know it's a C.
Yeah, Sydney is the daughter, and Chris Minshew is the wife, or is the wife. The third person would have been Linda Maxwell. I believe it was her. She was our lightweight fighter, the smaller fighter. And I actually saw them fight as Super Grands, and they fought Danielle Dixon. And I think that's when it was LaDonna Dawson and one other person. And I can't, please forgive me, I'm old and I take shots to the head.
That's all right. If you know who you are and you listening to this shit,
please hit me up and let me know.
Let us know.
If you remember this, because I know there's a lot of people.
Oh, I'm sure some remembrance out there.
Remember this and what I'm talking about. They were fighting in the finals, and the whole team fight was going back and forth, and this is for the women's team title. And the final fight was Linda Dinley versus Danielle Dixon. And anybody that knew me or knows me knows that back then and still today, Danielle and I are sisters and friends.
I'm talking about
family.
Close.
I lived out there with them for months, years, and just they are my family. And I was torn. That was one of the first times I was torn between business, my team competing against my personal family, a friend. So I had to choose which side. And I can honestly say that one of the things that helped me decide who I was going to choose for and ultimately what team I was going to fight for was because I felt that I was overlooked for a legend, a living legend that always thought and felt that she had to be a part of this ultimate goal. It wasn't a torch being passed on. It wasn't stepping and guiding, coaching, or uplifting a younger fighter to get them to a level where this person was or where she was. And another thing was this fighter was, from what I remember and believe, was injured. And instead of kind of taking a seat back and allowing a healthier
I'm going to force this
replacement, I forced this. I wanted this to happen.
It's mine.
I can also understand the mentality that this legend had, because she had fought Danielle in Texas and out nationally for about 1.5 to 2 years, and Danielle had never beat her. And so it became somewhat of a mind game for Danielle, because there was a mental block. She couldn't get past this hump. I'm trying and I fall short. I witnessed and was included in her training. So I know what she went through. I know where her mindset was. The one thing we didn't have at the time when she was training was the videos. We didn't have things to watch, remember, focus on, dissect. So I think on both sides of the table, there were some things festering and going on. And from my point of view, I guess that anxiousness, that spotlight, them fighting for that title, that pressure, I wanted to be a part of it too. And when I say a part of it, not as a team member standing on the sidelines cheering. I thought it was an opportunity for me to step up for my team, my state. Firefighters were at the time was like GOP or Gypsy. We were the Texas team that represented Texas. So again, that was all right. Well, I have this opportunity. I'm going to be able to step up for my team. I'm getting my mental game prepared. And then it wasn't any substitutions. It wasn't any talk other than I got this. This is mine. And overlooking some of the issues and the obstacles. And I don't believe it was a team decision. And that hurt me. And when I say hurt, because I don't think it was done for the team. I don't think it was done for the state. I think it was done for personal reasons, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Everybody does everything for their own reasons. So at that point, I then made the switch. That moment, that time in the middle of their team fight, to switch sides and to go on the side of Danielle. And ironically, that was Danielle's first time beating her. And after that, there was a lot of injuries. And I know that this legend had injuries because I had always heard about these things. And, when you get older, I have injuries now. So I'm not saying that taking anything away from her as far as the physical part of her being injured. I just know that what I learned at that moment, and then a few times after that throughout my karate career, is that when it's not my time, when I'm supposed to be a leader, and when I say leader, not dictate and control what someone does, but help guide them and lead them in their abilities. I put all my trust in karate. And when I say karate, I know that if I see someone competing or I see someone in their ability, I know that their ability is going to get them where they need to go as long as they go after it, as long as they want it, as long as they put in the time, the effort, as long as they do what it needs to take. And I don't want to overlook anything or anybody when it comes. And this goes back to Miss Renisha Williams yesterday. I don't want to overlook anyone that is fighting the same fight that I fought when I was in that position. That's what I don't want to do. And so I've always wanted to give back. And that is a part of giving back when it comes to karate. The people and the women that I compete against at whatever level they're on or I'm on, as long as they want it and they want to keep going, then I'm going to help them in any way I can. Any way I can.
That's deep. Y'all heard that. I don't even want to tell you my part of it. She didn't just made me just damn, like, whoa, time out, hold on. Let me breathe.
I have to understand.
But yeah, and that only come with you learning yourself. Maturing, evolving.
I've always been a knucklehead, guys. Everybody that's known me, I like to enjoy life. I like to have fun. But getting older, going through a marriage, having kids, and then learning. I went through counseling for myself during my marriage and after, and now I'm going to school to be a counselor. It taught me a lot about myself, self-awareness. It taught me a lot about what I need to do to make myself feel better. And to do that, I ultimately love what I love. And when I say I love sports. I love karate. I love my kids. I love my family. So anything that I do, I want to help them and give back to them. I don't want to do anything in a self-centered, selfless, or self-proclamation or a self-worth position. Yes, I want to do it in a manner to where whatever I do, it's positively reinforcing something for someone else. If it's not, then to me, I'm only doing it for myself, and myself right now, I'm content, I'm happy, and I'm at peace. So right now, to get and gain more peace and more serenity, I want to help and guide people in whatever ways I can. If you need help talking, if you want to train, if you want to do this, whatever it is I can do to help anybody out there, I'm willing to, because throughout my entire life, I've always needed help, and I still, certain points and times in my life, I need help. And after losing my grandmother, and then a few years later, losing my father, it gave me a different outlook on life, that me and myself and what I'm doing is not the only thing important. Life is not always fun and games. It's serious and it's real. So to leave your mark and do something prosperous and positive, help the next man, help the next person.
Jody, JT Money, Tension, I got nothing but love for. I've been knowing Jody, I was way under belt. I used to stand next to him and Jesse in line. You know that? Like,
just
him,
on purpose.
Him and Jesse Ray used to come to Plowden Championship Martial Arts. I used to stand next to them in line when it was time to line up according to rank. According to rank, we were right there by each other. But here nor there, that I always looked at Jody as a big brother. And if I tell you, when I asked you that question, because it made me think about if it was one tournament that I could be able to go back to and was able to fight in that tournament and whatever the division was, but this one I'm specifically talking about is teams at US Open one year.
Who was on your team?
I was on All Stars.
Okay.
It was me, Robbie, Jay Breezy, Ray, and Jody was supposed to be the coach.
Okay.
Jody had a game plan. Jody wanted to go with the game plan. I was part of his game plan. Ray felt different. He let Robbie stay in. And really, Robbie was having an off day. Don't get me wrong. Robbie's a great fucking fighter.
Absolutely.
A great super lightweight fighter. Like, I grew up with Robbie too, at 12, 13-year-old boys, short and tall. Like, I grew up with these guys. But Jody just felt like it wasn't Robbie's day.
Right.
He felt like I also deserved to have that shot to been in that team fight. I helped get him there to the team fight. You know, Ray used me. It was a thing with you can use your substitute. 4 people line up on the line. I can play with whoever I want to fight. Of course, Ray's gonna always fight. Jay Breezy is gonna always fight. Sometimes Jay Breezy have stepped out for me to fight. Don't get it twisted. But this day, Jay Breezy was fighting. We knew Ray was fighting. Jody felt like I was supposed to fight. Ray felt like Robbie was supposed to fight. That goes back to friendships. Goes back to saying friendships and how certain things be important to certain people at the moment, but they're not looking at the bigger picture on what they can do for other people at the moment. They went out there and Jody stood right there in that finals. I was dressed too. I was ready because Jody said, "You're fighting. You fighting. I'm coaching. You fighting." So I stayed ready. I stayed warmed up. I went out there, stayed on the sideline, and all the way until it was time for us to go out there. That was kind of like the boom. It just went dead tone to me because it was like, we don't need no coach. We are our own coach. So really, it was like you basically also telling Jody at the same time, we don't even need you to come out here right now. And to see how somebody fought for me to be a part of something that still didn't work out, but he still fought for me. It made me want to be able to have to went out there and fought that time. So Robbie, do know I am kicking your ass when I see you. I am kicking your ass when I see you.
I'm gonna be the center judge. I'll video it, guys, and we'll play it on the.
It's all out of love, you know. Robbie know I'm just messing with it. It's all out of love. But Jody, I definitely owe you that big ups because if I could go back and do one fight, one division, one thing over that I felt like I really had there was an opportunity for me to be a part of. That was it, Jody. That was it right there. That moment to share with you. Man, I watched Jody lose to Kevin Thompson, 99 Bluegrass Nationals. I had just won my first black belt grand championship ever. 99, and of course at the end of the year I won my first world title, but I watched Jody fight that fight. I watched Jody come in that hallway. I watched Jody when he sat down against that wall. I sat right there in front of him. I didn't know what to tell him besides, good job, man. You did good. You tried. You still my favorite fighter. To be able to not give him that moment of me being his favorite fighter at that moment. Because he believed in me. Hell, probably more than I believed in myself. Because I probably was going to freak out anyway. It's ESPN, y'all. It's US Open. This shit is on ESPN. I'm probably finna freak out anyway. But he still believed in me. He did. And I'm not saying he lost belief in me. Because I definitely got to have him there in 2015 when I won that gold medal against Ian Hollett. I remember looking at Jody on that sideline. I remember looking at him on that sideline. And he looking at me like, what the hell is you doing? Let's go. And to have that after I grew up, man, I grew up watching these guys. Anthony Price, Terry Creamer, Richard Plowden,
that's it.
Jerry Roberts, Jeff Smith, all the Larry Tankson,
absolutely,
John Allison, Bernard Frost.
That's it.
Man, I grew up watching these guys. I grew up watching. I used to make my mama sit at the tournament all day. I'll leave. But she couldn't leave. She had to sit there and video that.
I've seen his video collection in Detroit.
I had to see.
I've seen it.
I'm thankful for the ones that paved the way for me. I'm thankful for the Travis I had, the skill I had. Say there were 2 karate school when everybody else went off to college and everything else. Yeah, Trav went to college. I appreciate it. He made time for me. Ski went to college. He made time for me and made me the person I am. All right. So, guys, we're going to end y'all with that. Each one teach one, they say.
That's it. Everybody needs support.
We'll be getting ready to see you guys at battle.
We're going to have a good show for you.
Best of luck. Bring your A game, not your D game, not your punk game. Don't come in there with that shit. Keep your mask on. Keep your hands to yourself. Stay 6 feet away.
Absolutely.
All right. Everybody have a good week. Don't train too hard. Train your mind on what you can do better for somebody else. Train your mind on what you do. I look forward to seeing you guys this week. All right.
I'm going to make a challenge real quick and then we're going to sign off. If all my people, black belts, my family, my friends, if you all could do one thing this week for the next man, I would love to see it. And once you do it, can you send me a message on Facebook and let me know what you did?
Send her a message when you did it.
Send her a message. Please.
We got a gift for you guys. Send her a message. We got a gift for you guys.
Send me something. A message, a text, if you have my number.
Don't lie about it.
Let me know what you did and how you did it.
And why you did it.
And I don't want it to be for another black belt. What I want it to be is someone that's underneath you, a student.
That you want to get to their black belt.
Yes, who you want to mentor. Do something for them that you wish you could have had done for you at that same moment time in their lives. Please send me a message and let me know what you do, guys.
All right.
Signing off, Mimi and Lump. Y'all have a good week.
This is the Raw Show. Have a good week. Stay safe. We'll see you guys soon. Whoosh.